Hello and welcome back to episode 90 of Take to the Skies, St Albans FC. We are back for the end of the season. I got a bit carried away, but we're in the final two games. And in theory, we can get into the playoffs. First of all, if you are enjoying the content on the channel, please do leave a like. Comment how you think we're going to do this season and next season. Subscribe. All the support's greatly appreciated as we head towards FM22. However, since you were last with us, when we went through in the FA Cup third round against Brentford, we then beat Derby 2-0. We beat Ipswich 2-0. And we beat Peterborough 4-0. Fantastic start. And as planned, we didn't come back for the Swansea game. They beat us 2-0 out of the FA Cup. We then lost 1-0 to Bristol, which was a very disappointing result. This is where we were kind of, with a few wins under our belt, we would have been in the playoff battle. But then instead, after a 3-1 win against Fulham, it all fell apart. We lost 2-0 to Burnley. Not mad about that. They're top of the league. We lost 1-0 to Swansea. A little bit grumpy about that. They've beaten us 3 times this season. I'm getting sick of them. We then drew 2-2 with Aston Villa in a game that we really shouldn't have drew. And then we lost 3-0 to Newcastle for unknown reasons. Then we drew 1-1 with Charlton in a game we really shouldn't have drawn because they're in a relegation battle. Then we drew 1-1 with Rotherham in a game that, again, we should be beating Rotherham. But then we beat Barnsley 3-1, beat Bournemouth 1-0. That was a massive result for us. They're, in that top, I think they're second at the moment. We then beat West Brom 3-0, a team that are struggling this year. We beat bottom of the table Wrexham. I believe we actually confirmed their relegation. And then we drew 2-2 with Huddersfield, which, on the face of it, they're a team in the playoffs. Doesn't sound disappointing. But we were 2-1 up, and in the 88th minute, they equalised. And it was the most ridiculous goal that I've ever seen equalised like that. We then most recently beat Sheffield United 4-3. So, in theory, if you look here, possible finish 6th to 12th. If you look at the competitions, we're 6 points. Have I done all my maths wrong going in? I've done all my maths wrong going into this. We're 5 points behind Aston Villa, which means everything that I was about to say means nothing. So Aston Villa have got to play Crystal Palace and Derby. If they lose both of them, then we can move above them on goal difference. No, on points, because I've done my maths wrong prior to this recording. However, if they lose both of them, Crystal Palace will be on 75 points, which means we then need Palace to lose their game and us to make up the goal difference to go above Crystal Palace. Simultaneously, if Derby draw and win, then we need them to well, they can't drop any goal difference. We need some ridiculous goal difference to get above them. If Villa win either of their games, that's it. We can't get top 6. If Palace win both, we can't get top 6. So there's a lot of permutations. We can, in theory, finish in that top 6. It's very unlikely. Less unlikely than what I thought it was impossible because I did my maths wrong. But we'll ignore that. We're in the middle of a strong end to the season. What could have been if we hadn't had this February that was just disastrous? We could easily be in the playoff battles. We might even be confirmed in the playoffs if we hadn't had that many slip-ups. If we'd even beaten Huddersfield, we'd be on 71 points now, which gives us a much better chance of getting into that top 6 just by virtue of, we've got less points to make up. But it wasn't to be. We're going to give it our best. Hopefully we can pick up 2 wins today and see where we finish. The lineup for the game against Hull City, we've got Walsh in goal, a back three of Mackie, Stevens and York. Higgins, Mensah, Vaughan, Vukaj and Maloney make up the middle 5 with Maloney as the holding midfielder, and then Sharp and Devani as the front 2. We have stuck with the 3-1-4-2 in recent weeks. It's been doing as well. I think it's been better than the 3-4-3 as of late. I think it was just tactical familiarity, but they seem to be getting there with that. Let's get into it. We've got an early corner here. Higgins goes towards the far post. Stevens with the header, but it's over the bar. Good start though. So we've reached half time. Still 0-0 for us. It's been a really boring first half. Elsewhere, Derby are 2-1 up against Aston Villa. And Crystal Palace are 1-0 down against Charlton. Very good for us that Charlton are getting a result there. However, Derby beating Villa, I'm not sure. It's kind of good because it means we can catch both of them. But we're relying on Derby to drop points in their second game. I can't remember who they've got, but I don't think it's a massive game for them. So 20 minutes to go in the second half. Still, just nothing's happened. So we're going to make a couple of changes. Barrow and Bennett are going on. And we're going to see if we can create something. As I say, just nothing is happening right now. And now, 5 minutes ago, Mensah's got injured. So we're going to send Charlton on in midfield. But it's not looking great. We're very late in the game. We're going to go into like a 4-5-1 of sorts, just to try and get something out of it. In fact, we're going to send Barrow and Vukaj further up the pitch as well. Go attacking to end the game, why not? And we've ended it with a 0-0 draw, which, as you can see, we can no longer get promoted in the worst way possible for that to happen. This was the game where as long as we won, we were still in contention for promotion, and we've bottled it, unfortunately. I don't have the heart to play the last game of the season anymore, because that's how boring that was. There's nothing to the last game now. We can't get into the playoffs. There's just nothing to show from it. So rather than give you a massively long episode by showing a match and the season review, we'll just skip straight through to the season review. So here we have the season review for the 2031-32 season. We're not going to pay too much attention to the new arrivals because we never do. Very quick click through them because it never really means anything. But some people might like to see it, who knows. Season results, we're expected to fight bravely against relegation. We instead finished in 8th place. Villa ended up dropping out of the playoffs with the loss to Derby. They did then beat Palace, but it wasn't enough. We, for the record, ended with a 1-0 win against Stoke. Nice ending to the season. We had an average attendance of 10,335, which is 90% full for the season. FA Cup, we got to the 4th round. We're expected to be competitive, so they were happy with that. And the Carabao Cup again, 4th round. They wanted the 2nd round, so they're happy with that as well. Moments to remember, we've got our biggest win, was our 6-1 against Barnsley, which for a rarity was on camera. Match to remember was our 4-3 against Peterborough, and then goal of the season going to Fawn for this goal against Sunderland. This was just before we came back for the Crystal Palace and Brentford games in January, and I can't remember it, but Donaldson making a run down the left and then lays it back off. Yeah, not often I agree with the goal of the season on this game. I'll give him that one. That was a very nice strike from Fawn. Finance-wise, we got extra 6,000 in sponsorship. Broadcast revenue was down, but we did have better cup runs last year. Corporate and hospitality, just by virtue of owning the stadium, goes up massively by 600,000. Competition prize money is down, but as a result of the cup run that we had last time out. Match day commercial and retail up by about 250,000, which is again probably just due to the fact that we own the stadium now. 4,168 shirts were sold. Bennett, Higgins, Maloney, Sharp and Barrow as the top choices. How we lined up, it's picked up the 3-4-3 with Walsh in goal, Mackie, Stevens and Phillips as the back three. I'd argue Phillips probably shouldn't be there. But then you kind of had Stevens and Mackie and then someone. And Phillips was probably one of the ones that played most there. Higgins, Brown, Mensah and Fawn as the middle four. I think Mensah probably should be out for Maloney. Fawn and Vukaj you could put either way round. And then Sheldon, Sharp and Devani as the front three. For me, Sheldon's got to come out of that for Bennett, but doesn't matter too much. You see, goal scoring strikers continues with Devani getting 35, Sharp getting 13, Sheldon getting 10. Little bit of a weaker season from Sharp this year, but I don't think it's anything to be too concerned about. Fans player of the season was Devani as the young player of the season as well. Sign of the season going to Dwayne Stevens. And then in all competitions, 35 goals for Davani this year, 13 assists for Jack Barrow, and then 8 man of the matches for Davani. And the highest average rating actually going to Ollie Walsh, 7.2. We'll be trying to get him back on loan next year. And we also have a couple of new records. Most goals by a player in a match, Davani with 4, and also our highest transfer fee paid for Donaldson, £176,000. Budgets for next season, we've got £125,000 on the wage budget, which is up £15,000 from this season, and £265,000 to spend on the transfer budget. We might look to spend that. It'll depend on what we can find on the frees, really, first of all. We do love a free transfer here, but we'll see how it goes. We probably need a new left winger, a new face up front, and maybe something freshening up the midfield. Maloney, I quite like in the holding midfield, but he can play the Mazzala. I'm mostly looking for a Mazzala, I think, and maybe somebody centre-back wise that can be a consistent centre-back along with Mackie and Stevens would be ideal for us to hopefully push towards those playoff spots for next year. But I think at this point we should be more than secure in the Championship and just thinking about, can we push into that top 6? Which we very easily could have done without the poor run in February in particular. For the record, we ended the season with a 1-0 win against Stoke with a first-minute goal from Davani, securing the win there for us. And it's been a nice season for us at our new stadium. It's, we've had fans there quite often. We've also got youth and training facility upgrades coming in, which will be done over the summer. And then hopefully with that and a few new faces, we can push on towards the Premier League. We haven't got long until FM22, so ideally I'd like to get to the Premier League before FM22. We'll have to see how that goes. If we don't, I'm going to be calling time on the series the moment the beta launches anyway. At most, I might try and finish the season we're in. It'll depend what kind of state we're in. If we're in a relegation or promotion battle, then I'll probably finish it just so that we know if we are a Premier League team at the end of it. If we're kind of just sat mid-table, I probably won't bother. I'll try and time it right though, and just time it with the new game somewhat. It's quite difficult to do with a beta, but nevertheless, if you have enjoyed that, please do leave a like down below. Comment your prediction for next season. What do you think we can do? Where do you think we need to strengthen? Subscribe if you're enjoying the content on the channel, and thank you very much for watching.